Damn, Zac
Okay.
Stevens. Look at the Christmas fit with the turtleneck underneath the holiday jacket.
I see you.
We see you.
Yeah, I tried to do my best, Todd Davis, and I felt pretty silly sitting front and center talking to Sean Payton and Russell Wilson after the game, after what was supposed to be like a great night before Christmas, and it turns into now everyone's Christmas is ruined. Broncos country, the players, what a disappointing night, and it's freezing cold out here
Yeah.
too. So everyone that came here, 16,000 no-shows, that's a F ton.
Right.
But the 60,000 that were here got to freeze their asses off and then watch just a terrible, terrible game, which absolutely did end the Broncos season. And that is the most disappointing locker room I have ever been in for the season not being over still, because they know, just like everyone else, that the season's over. You guys are right in why the Broncos are going to lose the playoffs to five or miss the playoffs to 5 reasons. And everyone knows now. And you guys know Russell Wilson. He's the ultimate, like, believe, believe, believe. And even today he was talking as if the season was over. Obviously he didn't say it in those words, but that's what happens when you lose to a 3-11 team at home when everything else today went your way in the playoff race.
Yeah, Zach, I don't think anybody believed that the Broncos were going to win this game as loudly as you did throughout the entire week. You mentioned it a million times over that you're not worried. Brian Baldinger, was on this show on Wednesday and said that there was absolutely nothing to worry about this Patriots offense. And man, there's a lot of people just eating their words, licking their wounds tonight because no one expected this from the Patriots. And I know you didn't. So how are you feeling as you watched that game unfold?
Well, I mean, the offense was absolutely inept. There was nothing to worry about the Patriots offense except for 1 or 2 plays. And credit to Bailey Zappi for putting a couple of balls exactly where they needed to be. Bless you, Ryan. I mean, if Bailey Zappi is going to have 2 perfect passes with Pat Surtain and great coverage, if they're going to be able to hit on those, then, well, the offense is going to have to do more than 110 yards in the first 3 quarters. That's how much offense the Broncos had, 110 yards. So really the Broncos offense was anemic until the very end, until the 4th quarter, when they were able to put up over 160 yards of offense. But when you get to that point, and people, I'm going to discredit a little bit what the Broncos did on offense in the 4th quarter, because you just can't rely on the hero ball every week to save you. And that's what the Broncos have lived on. That's what Russell Wilson has lived on. And you can't do that week in and week out. And if you can't do it against a 3-11 team, you got to stop relying on it. The Broncos passing game was so bad in so many different ways. And it just felt like in the first 3 quarters that Sean Payton had zero trust in Russell Wilson and was not allowing Russell Wilson to do anything. I think at one point, I don't know if it was halftime or right around then, Russ had 8 completions. 7 of them were to running backs. Or 7 of them were to running backs or a tight end. And like the 1 completion to a receiver was to Marvin Mims behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, there was just no trust seemingly when you watch these games from Sean Payton to Russell Wilson. And that's why after the game, Russell Wilson is being asked about his future in Denver. There's still 2 more games left. Russell Wilson still hasn't started his 5-year, $240 million contract. And there's already questions about his future with the Broncos. And it's because we just saw his head coach have no trust in him. And then so Russ said the difference between the first 3 quarters and the last quarter was that the Broncos went up tempo. Well, why can't you do up-tempo all the time? Well, because defenses aren't going to allow you just to dink and dunk when you're down 16 points. They'll let you do that when you're down 16 points. They play you a very different way when the game is in the balance and the game is close. And so that's the difference. It's not just go up-tempo more often. No, it's a lot of things need to change.
Zach,
go ahead.
I was just going to ask you real quick about the start. When you mentioned that, most of those passes early on were to running backs or tight ends. It's always tough watching the game on TV because they only give you one view. And it felt like he was always checking it down to the outside, like he wasn't taking time to get through his progressions. Did you see open receivers that he just wasn't missing, or did it feel like everybody was covered and he was, taking his best option?
Yeah, a combination. But there definitely were guys where that were open that Russ just did not want to make a mistake. And we've seen that throughout the year. I mean, in the first 3 weeks of the season, Russell Wilson had 300-yard passing games. We have not seen that since, because Sean Payton has really limited what Russ is able to do. And so that's exactly what was happening in this game as well. It was one read, check it down. And that's what it was. Also, Courtland Sutton going out. We know Courtland Sutton is the Broncos' best receiver. He's their best playmaker in the passing game. But on top of that, Courtland Sutton is Russell Wilson's best friend in the passing game. He is his safety net. He is the guy that he trusts. And when Courtland wasn't out there, there was just no one for Russ to trust down the field. And so that's what led to a lot of those dink and dunks.
Zach, in your opinion, what is the number one reason the Broncos lost this game?
Oh, man. Absolute inept offense. I mean, I think it was like 108 yards of offense in the first 3 quarters. 3 quarters, 100 yards of offense. And total passing offense, I think heading into the fourth quarter or right around somewhere in the third quarter, 50 yards of passing offense. 50 yards of passing offense. So the running game, I think, was good in the first half and then fell off in the second half completely. That's when the passing game picked up in the fourth quarter. But this offense, and just the thing that just I kept coming back to. This isn't necessarily against Russell Wilson, but it's Sean Payton, no belief in Russell Wilson. And I think that was on just full display tonight.
I'm going to press you. Who was the biggest reason for the inept offense?
Well, if your head coach doesn't trust your quarterback and isn't going to let him unleash, you blame one of those two. And so you got to have to take a side. Do you trust Russell Wilson or do you trust Sean Payton? I think that Russell Wilson isn't going to be back next year. So I guess I'll put it on Russ because Sean is saying he does not trust Russell Wilson. But I just, the lack of trust there is wild. In a game that you absolutely must have, you don't trust your starting quarterback. It's a bummer all the way around.
Yeah, and you're going to be front and center at all those pressers for a long time coming. So you don't need to be throwing Sean under the bus this early, right?
I didn't mean it like that. I meant what I meant it was I don't think Russ is going to be back next year, and I think that is Sean sending a very clear message as to why he couldn't trust him. And so I think Sean is putting the blame on Russ. Although after the game, when asked about Russ's performance, Sean took the ultimate high road. Sean said, I was proud of how Russ battled. And to me, that was even more so of like, man, he's not going to kick him on his way out. Now, this is, again, just how I'm interpreting all of this. But Sean took the high road there. But disappointing was the word in the locker room, was the word from Sean. He told the team, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for you guys. Go and enjoy your Christmas tomorrow. Enjoy it on Tuesday. We'll be back on Wednesday to move forward with this. But as crazy as it is, like I said, everything else went the Broncos' way today. The only other thing that could have gone the Broncos' way that didn't this weekend was yesterday with the Bills just beating the Chargers. But that one, we all kind of wrote it off, so that wasn't a big deal. Everything else with the Broncos' way, I was surprised that there wasn't still just like a little bit of hope in the locker room. Like, man, yeah, this one sucks, really disappointed. But, you know, we're still just one game back right now. I'm surprised that wasn't the tone in the locker room. It was, damn, we just blew our opportunity. These are games that you need to win for the playoffs. We knew the opportunity that we had pretty much win, and we're in, and we blew it. Jonathan Cooper was just so disappointing. If you want to see how players feel and be able to see that, go check out my Twitter with Jonathan Cooper. You can just you can see just how bummed out he is. There were some F-bombs being thrown around in the Broncos locker room. It's as disappointing as I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think every single person knew the magnitude of this game, and for it to end the way that it did, especially with their kicker hitting the field goal, was brutal. Really quick before we let you go, I need to get your top 5 reasons. We're on number 5, and we were hoping to get your input.
Yeah, we just need one.
We just need one. We have 4.
So, could you bring that up for us so we can read them to Zach?
The graphics a little.
Quick. Okay,
I
can read them to you.
I saw it when
you were waiting. Give us number 5, Zach.
Let me know if this one counts. The I don't know a short way to say it. Losing to bad teams. The Commanders game, the Raiders game. I know those count as the early losses, but then how about you throw in the Jets? How bad are the Jets? And the Broncos lost to them here in Denver, so bad. And then you think the Jets are bad? The Patriots are even worse, and you lost to them here when you knew you had to have it. So four losses right there that I can think of off the very top of my head to trash football teams, and all 4 at home. Oh my goodness. Wow. All 4 of those at home. You got to be fucking kidding me. Jeez.
All right. Let's let Zach go get warm.
Wait,
Yeah.
before you go, can we get a full fit fit check real quick? Can we get the?
Oh,
I saw
geez.
the gloves. You know what I'm saying? I see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is the look, Zac Stevens.
That's it.
Now you know.
My guy popped off.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't Russell Wilson walk in a turtleneck and a nice jacket today?
Yeah, I think this is better.
I think
You know
you're.
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
you're rocking this.
I
damn.
trust Zach. I don't
If
know
I had the
about this.
flame, I'd give you the flame. You're pulling that off, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Merry Christmas. Get home to your lady and your family, and we appreciate it. We'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Merry Christmas, guys. Bye.
See ya.